Coming up, I finally generate hyper experience in order to enchant my tools at impossible levels. I also build a new truck for transporting diesel to the library. Let's create hyper enchanting. It's actually going to happen today. In the last episode, I built this ginormous library to hold it all in. And today we're going to be going inside and actually fitting in a whole bunch of things to make my tools, armor, and weapons ridiculously OP. I might even upgrade from the diamond I'm wearing, but you never know. The inside of this library is fully decorated on every single floor now, but that's only on these internal floors. If we go to the external floors out here, there's just this massive space with absolutely nothing in it, and that's going to change today. And one of the first things that needs to change is that we need an elevator, because I don't like going up and down these stairs. And I think the best place to squeeze that in is going to be in the corner somewhere like this, so it doesn't interfere with anything. But it will! Jeez, I've got to go all the way back to the top now to show you the next bit. You see, because each of the floors on here is angled slightly towards the outside wall, if we come all the way to the top here and into the corner and start digging down, well, first of all, we're going to end up in this little gap here, which isn't big enough for an elevator, so we're going to have to smash that to bits, and probably these bits to bits as well, so that we can actually get in and out. And that's a bit of a problem, because on the inside of this we've got this corner here, so I think that corner's going to have to go. But this is the only floor that really happens on. If we keep digging down into the next floors, you'll see there's a big space here. We've got plenty of room there, and if we go down into the next floor, we've got plenty of room there, and if we go down into the next floor, well, we've got plenty of room here too, and so on and so forth, all the way down to the ground floor. So yeah, I think this is the perfect spot for an elevator. The problem is, though, that elevators require power, and there's absolutely no power to this building at all. So we're going to need that. And I want to power this building on diesel because, well, I've got an infinite supply of it now, and it makes things go really fast. But my diesel lives all the way over there in a big tank underground, so I'm going to have to get that delivered all the way over to here. And I can't have it delivered unless I've got roads going up to these things and paths and all that sort of stuff. So I guess the first place I should start is with the library grounds. And that should be relatively easy. We just need to put in a few paths, and I'm going to put them going all the way around the outside, because apparently, according to the comments, this building has entrances on every single side, which is absolutely fine, not a problem. But as well as the paths, we're going to need a little road coming up here and a car park somewhere for things to actually park in. And while we could have that out the front here, which is realistically probably not a bad idea, I was thinking of maybe squeezing that in at the back so it wasn't quite so ugly. We could definitely have a loading bay at the back for the diesel, but I think it does make sense to have the car park at the front, so maybe I should start destroying a whole bunch of this area, getting a car park in, getting access for my tankers, and then bringing one of these tankers over here full of diesel. But let's not run before we can walk. Let's get the paths in first. And for the paths, I'm going to be using stone tiles, because I've used that pretty much in all of the other buildings for path work around the outside, and I really like these blocks. Well, that's a pretty inefficient way of placing them when I've got a construction wand. And there we go, that's the path going around the entire thing. Obviously, we want one leading up to the main entrance here from our car park, and we'll use the exact same tarmac design we've got for the roads, with the rough mud, the trodden deep slate, and the trodden blackstone. And that was nice and quick to put in. Now, I guess we just need the car park spaces. Let's assume we're going to have a little bit of a wall there, and so I guess the first space would go here. And we're going to use frame blocks for this, as I normally do. And these have a gap of 3, then the next one, like that. And then, because that's then the wrong side of the block, in order to make those even, then we go a gap of 2, smash this bit to bits here, and then we do that there like that. And then we've got a gap of 3 in the middle, but it's an offset gap, so if we actually try to build the car to fit in this space, it's not going to fit very well. And I can just do that the whole way along here. And now that we've got lines in on both sides, I guess we need to shape the edge of this so that it doesn't look quite so weird against the grass, probably with a little wall or a walkway. And I guess we'll do something similar to what we've got going on with the hotel wall over there, because that kind of works. I'm not sure if I like the wall now. I've done all of that. Maybe a fence would have been better. And now the wall is gone, and we've got a fence around here instead, which I think does make it feel like it fits a whole lot better with this area. And now we've got a way of cars actually getting into the car park. We don't actually have any way of them getting down there to actually deliver stuff. So I think we're going to have to rip this out again, widen this up, and then we can have 2 lanes going down there. Or I can just actually have this car park bit traffic divert that way for like delivery vehicles and things like that. Yeah, fence has got to go again. And now that this yard is in and we've got a little access road all the way down to the car park, there's no reason I can't start bringing another truck down here to bring us in some diesel. And I'm going to be basically making a carbon copy of that truck there, but this one's going to be a diesel truck instead of a lava truck, and it's going to be coming from there. And the way this works is the truck drives up to these doors, the doors open, and the lava one already works because the lava tank here pulling from the infinite lava source below. But I don't have one of these set up for diesel yet, so I guess I should do that next. And I've already got a pump here that we use to actually fill this thing in, but I kind of want to leave that for now just in case something happens to this and I need to refill it. So what I'm going to do is add another pump in here and just pump it up to the top, hopefully. And this point here, we've already got one of these going in there for our other rung, so I guess we can just bring it alongside this and have them next to each other. Let's grab ourselves a hose pulley and stick that on there, wind it all the way down to the bottom of the tank, and we'll do something very similar to the design of this one, with a bit of girder coming off the wall there like that, joining it there, and then we need a little bracket there to hold that on, and there we go. Now I just need a pump on there, powered, to actually pump it into this tank. So if I just throw another cog there next to that one and put a vertical gearbox in there, that should be all we need to actually start getting some biodiesel in there. There we go, it's coming in. Let's just tidy that up a little bit, fill the floor back in, no one would ever know, and now we've got biodiesel coming into this tank. Fantastic. So now we just need a truck. So I guess it's truck building time. And here it is, the brand new tanker, which looks very similar to the old tanker. There's a few slight differences to it. It's actually got these little hook cabs on this one. I've rearranged the wheels a little bit to make it look a little bit nicer. And I've also messed about with the cab, slightly removing a couple of frame blocks just to give the driver a little bit better field of view. I've made it work with the doors now, so when it reverses up here, the door will automatically open. And as you can see, it's already being pumped into with biodiesel. It's got a whole bunch of that in there already. So the next thing I need to do is create a schedule, get a driver, and get it going over there. But at the moment, over there's nowhere to go to. So my plan obviously is that it drives down here, comes into this area here, and offloads. The only problem is I don't think there's enough room in here for it to fully turn around and go back out again, and I don't really want it reversing all the way back down there. So I think I might have to extend this slightly in that direction so that it can come down here, reverse up, drop its diesel off somewhere around about here, and then that can get flowed underground into there, and then it'll be able to pull forward and go off again. And not only that, we're going to need a whole bunch more track and a whole bunch more stations. And the problem is that all of that we need to do is underneath there. I haven't dug any of this out yet. The actual main road that it's going to be coming down stops here at this grass. And that's directly below my feet here. And as you can see, there's all of that road ahead of me that we just don't actually have road for. I've got a whole bunch of work to do before I can even do that. I'm just bringing this little man over the mountains to see my bees. Or maybe I'm using him as a driver, I don't know, but I found my bees again. Hey bees. And here we go, little driver, your chariot awaits. If you just go down there, thank you. Let me open the door, grab you a lead and shove you in there. I know I didn't want to get in. Thank you. There you go. Let me out. And hopefully I've done this schedule correctly so that it'll basically fill up here, then leave out of there, and then do all the things it should do. Hopefully. I haven't tested it. Let's find out. Let's give that to him. He should go forward, and then he should go straight back again. That's it. And then he'll wait for 10 seconds to make sure there's no cargo activity. Then he's going to go forward again, just like that. And then he should reverse up that way with a bit of luck. There we go. And now he should come all the way out of here. And he should, hopefully without crashing into that one over there. Oh, he's wait. Oh, dear. You see, he shouldn't have gone onto that one because that one was technically in a different thing, but he did for some reason. But yeah, I could probably do with some more track here so that they've actually got room to get round each other, I guess. Let's grab it from here and we'll take that all the way over here to lava exit like that. And now hopefully this one, when he reverses, he'll choose that route to go out instead of the other one. But I do need to make sure. See, they're all on the same signal thing, so they really shouldn't even have come in. I think that should be okay. Maybe, possibly, maybe. Who knows? Right, let's get him back on the road there. He should start disappearing and off in that direction. You can carry on in that direction. Where are you going? No, you're not doing the right thing at all. You're going backwards, sir. Oh, well, now I'm missing this one. I'm missing him going to the library. Where did he go? Oh, no. No, he's in the car park. Okay, yeah. Is he going to go where I want him to go, though? I'm slightly concerned about that. Where are you going? Where are you going? Right, okay, he pulls up there. Yeah, that's about a good spot, and he should hopefully reverse into this bit here. He's probably going to go through the... No, he hasn't gone through the fence. Now he's going to wait 10 seconds because there's nowhere to actually offload to, and then he should come back out again. He did. Oh, and he didn't hit the fence. That's good. And he should go all the way back and do all of that again, but ideally without crashing. Why are you trying to go to the library? That's not even on your schedule. What are you? You're trying to fake. You're trying to get the right way round again, aren't you? You're just totally lost. Where's he going to go? Is he going to reverse up the... No, he's reversing back out. Don't reverse onto a main road. Oh my goodness me, where are you going? Stop. Come back. Stop, you moron. Have you tried facing in the right direction? Right, where was he even trying? He was trying to get to lava forward? Oh, I think we need to reset your schedule a little bit, sir. There we go. Let's send you back to the lava place. Off you go. Don't do it again. Now, look, we got a traffic jam. There's lorries everywhere. This one's coming back again. I'm going to sort out the little drop-off point then, and hopefully we won't have any more of those sorts of issues. Oh, here he is. So we need that to be basically there. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Stick a bracket on there and a little bit of casing on there. And now that's ready to collect, sort of, kind of. But it's got nowhere to go. Let's do a little bit of digging. So I want this all the way across here and into our library. And hopefully the library's around about here somewhere. There we go. That's the inside wall. So if I pop up there, we're almost there. A couple more blocks. There we go. Perfect. And then that there, and then we need some sort of pump system and some power system to get it all in here. But I suppose the first thing we should probably have is a tank. And yes, inside the library I'm having a power station and diesel tanks and all that sort of stuff. It's fine. It's not real. You should do it outside. I don't want it outside. I want it inside where it's all hidden away in a little room, and that's how it's going to be. Okay? So that's going to be our tank for diesel. And that means we're going to need a pump on there to actually pump it in. And we're going to need power for all of this. We're going to need power for our power station. Just like we've got over at our liquid factory, we've got water wheels powering the pumps for the water. And we've got exactly the same thing under the hotel powering the pumps for this power station. And why do we have power for our power stations? Well, these things have a nasty habit. Oh no, it's crashed again. These things have a nasty habit of running out of power sometimes. And when they do, they struggle to start back up again because they've got no water. So by having your water always powered, then these things pretty much never run out. Right, where did you crash? Oh, you've done it. Wow, we've got a super long tank of this. How do you keep crashing in here? But it's got signals, you morons. Never a minute's peace. How? I don't understand. How many signals do I need in this place? Maybe those ones are a bit too close together. Okay, let's move those. Right, you come back over here a minute. And you, I don't even know where you were. Stop it! Stop it! It's so annoying. Okay, right. This is all very complicated. This track is totally surplus to requirements. It does absolutely nothing. So let's get rid of this one for a second. Right, these two need to be totally separated. So let's put one of those there and let's put one of those there. And that's going to separate both sides of this. So if we've got one up here, yeah, we need to separate that as well. So let's pop one of those there and one of those there so it can go both ways. And we'll do the same thing here so it can go both ways. And now if we've got one that's pulled forward, it's not going to interfere with one over here that's pulled forward, and if they're doing things over here, they're not going to interfere with each other. So let's just shove you over there for now, and let's just put you back. Stop it! Okay, fine. We'll put you there. Why are you moving forward? Why? There's clearly something there. Oh my goodness me. You shouldn't move. You shouldn't move if there's something else in your little bit. Right, now you're waiting for that one. But you can't find where you're supposed to be going now because I don't... Oh my goodness me. Right, that one's gone. Ah, now this one's doing something. So back at our little lava area then, we're going to need water wheels to power the power. Stick a bit of shaft on there. A nice tasty little gearbox there. Cover all that up. Make it not quite so ugly. And then we'll just increase the speed of this a bit. Now that can actually bring in some diesel. Oh, and it's already coming in. The lorry must be there. I didn't even notice. It is. Oh, wonderful. It's working. So I should probably make this door an actual door. And there we go. We've got a nice outside door. We've got plenty of diesel to get on with, and we got some power. So let's make a power station. And we're not going to require millions and millions of power in here. So I think I'm probably just going to go with one blaze burner for now. And this little blaze burner is going to need to be sat on some pipe. Then we can give him a little bit of a straw so he can attach himself to that pipe. And then we're just going to give him a little bit of a tank. I can throw a gearbox there and then a cog there. And there we go. Wow, it's already powered. Look at him, he's super powered. What I might do in order to decorate it a bit nicer is put some more tanks around the bottom here like this, and then turn those off, and then you get sort of like, I guess, the bottom of a tank type look. But now I can't see my blaze burner. Oh no. Oh no, they've crashed again, and now I've got water everywhere. And now we should be getting water in there, we are. But it's not going to start doing anything until I put at least one steam engine on there, and I guess we're going to have the power sticking out in this direction, so let's stick one of those on there, and put one of those there, and there we go. So it's going to be a level 2 boiler by the looks of things with the heat, so maybe we could do with another couple of blaze burners, give them a couple more straws. Oh, and there we go, that's taken us straight up to level 6. Perfect, so we just need 3 blaze burners in there. Let's move you. I'm sorry about that, little chap. Give you a straw back again. And now that looks a whole bunch better. We've got a nice level 6 boiler, so we can now attach 6 of these things and give ourselves a whole bunch of power. Wonderful. And I'm just going to use 3 steam engines for now, and then we've got plenty of power in here for when we need it. However, we won't have for long because our diesel's going to run out because our trucks keep crashing into each other, so let's go and fix that problem. Where did they I'm assuming they've crashed over there again. Yep, look at them. You morons. How do you keep doing it? Stop becoming one with each other. It's weird. Okay, this time I've took away all of the signals from down here apart from the ones on the entrance and the exit, so this is all technically the same track apart from the bits where they reverse down to the actual station, and that hopefully means that there'll only ever be one in here at a time. Back in the library power room, I've now put some walls around, I've put some lights in the ceiling, and I've put some doors on to keep this area nice and light and separated from everything else, which means we've still got an absolutely massive area all around the bottom floor of this library for many, many other things. No idea what they're going to be, although I do know that the next thing we're going to be having is going to be this elevator, although we're going to need power all the way to the roof in order to power this, so I guess we're going to need power from our power station to power that. And then we'll just cut a little bit of a hole in the ceiling, and we've got some space here because we've got these light blocks there, so we can hide a bunch of this up here, and then we can just take it straight up that corner there, up through all of the different layers, and another gearbox, and that'll go upstairs. Good. And now you'd never know. So this is going to be my little elevator. It's only going to be a small one because I need to squeeze it into the corner. And normally I would put the redstone contacts underneath these things. However, that will cause us a few problems higher up in this building if we do that. So this time it's going to go on the top. And that means I need an elevator pulley all the way at the top. And we want this to be the last floor it comes up to. I don't need it to go all the way up to the roof. So that means we should be able to get away with having our elevator pulley there. And then we just need to power it. And the power's just over here. And then if we put one of those on there and one of those on there, we should be able to attach that straight to our pulley there. If I drop that down, there we go, that's gone all the way down to the elevator. Let's just try that, make sure that's actually going to be in the right place. Hop up to the next floor, and it is. Oh, good. Well, the wall does a little bit come through the sides of the elevator on the way up and down. Oh, that's not the end of the world. All of the elevator contacts are now in, so we should be able to go to every floor. Next floor, yep, that one's fine. Next floor, yep, that one's fine. And then the very last one we can get to, I think, is that one. Yeah, perfect. And we are going to need buttons to be able to call it from the other floors as well, and doors as well, because if we send that up, obviously if this was a higher up floor, we're just going to be able to fall down the shaft, and I don't really have room here to put big old piston doors on that open and close like we've got at the other building, so I'm hoping we can maybe do something a little bit with redstone and these doors to make these automatically open when they get a signal. I have no idea if that's possible, but you can open and close them with redstone, and these redstone contacts do actually emit a signal when they're powered, when the elevator's there, so I think we can do it. If I was to put a redstone link on there, and because this is a library, we'll put book and red dye on there, I guess. And then we'd need a redstone link somewhere near these doors. Let's just shove it on there for now in inverted mode with a book and some red dye, and let's see what happens. So if I hop in the elevator here on level 1 and go down to the ground floor, these doors open, those ones were already open. Let's try that again. Let's go up to the next floor again, and then come down, and hopefully both sets of doors will open. They did, but will they close again when it goes away? They do! Oh, that's wonderful. But now we need a way of calling it down. So I'm going to craft a bunch of framed buttons, and I'm going to throw one of those on there, and then I'm going to texture it with these light blocks so that they do get off a little bit of light, but they also look a little bit like elevator call buttons. And then we need to send a redstone signal with that and not interfere with the doors either. So maybe that's not the best place for it. And if we had it there instead, and then we'll have our redstone link on the back of that. I guess this one can have orange dye. Then we need to come back to this redstone contact, put another redstone link on there, put that in receive mode with book and orange dye. And now we should be able to call the elevator by pressing that button. We can. That comes down. Let's send it away again and make sure everything's going to work. The doors close. Call the lift. It's going to come down. And yeah, there we go. That's great. And now that system is in place on every single floor except one. And that is the 4th floor, because the 4th floor really doesn't have much room. I'm going to have to destroy the corner of this library floor, sadly, in order to make all of that fit. But it could be worse. And hopefully that's all of that in place on the 4th floor as well now. Yep, the doors have just opened. We've got a call button. Let's just send it off to a different floor and call it back down. And there we go. That's working as well. So we just got to blend this into this room a little bit, which really shouldn't be too difficult. Stick a couple of books on there as if it was supposed to be like that. There we go. And now we've got access to our elevator. We can reach the button to turn it on. Now we just need to disguise the holes where the buttons are with a little bit of trim like that. So there's still a little bit of work to do on the other floors, disguising the buttons and things like that. But we'll worry about that later as we start actually working on these floors, because it's about time we actually did some of the stuff I've been banging on about doing for days, weeks, months. There's not been months. Okay, weeks. So whereabouts in this library are we going to be doing this hyper enchanting? And where am I going to be putting all the villagers? Because I do want villagers in here, and as much as I originally planned to have them all free roaming around here, I don't think that's a good idea with all of these edges and lips and things like that, because no doubt they'll end up falling off and dying. And the other problem with having villagers free roaming around here is that if I'm looking for a particular villager that I need, well, it could be anywhere, especially with all of these doors available to it. It could literally wander off anywhere in the building. So we're going to be keeping those somewhere out of the way, where they're going to be a little bit more accessible. Now there's two ways we can do hyper enchanting. We can either use blaze burners, configured something like this with hyper XP instead of liquid XP, or we could use a printer. Although printers are really for duplicating enchanted books and naming things, so I think both would probably be useful. So I've got one section I can just throw my items on and the blaze burners can just enchant them as I need them, and then another section with a printer where I can just make a whole bunch of hyper enchanted books. So I think first things first, we need to actually make some hyper experience, and I think this little section of hallway is probably a good place to do that. And as we've discovered before, hyper experience is glowing, lapis, and liquid experience. And that means we need liquid experience in here, which means we need to go back to the hotel just across here, and we need to figure out how we're going to get all of those nuggets of XP from over here to over there. And I could fully automate that, but there's no point. Instead, I'm just going to grab this box, replace it with a new one with an upgrade on there and a couple of key things, and then just one of those in there to store it so I know what's in there. And I'm just going to take this and put it in the library. And this might seem like a pretty lazy way of doing things, but it's not lazy, it's just sensible. Because this whole hyper enchanting system is not something that we can fully automate. And it's not something that's going to be running all the time. And the reason for that is because of how it all works. You see, if I leave this whole setup running, the blazes are just going to eat through all of the hyper experience, even when they're not using it, because that's what blazes do. So we're only going to be using it when we actually want to enchant something. Now, obviously, there's a whole bunch of different enchantments that I want to be able to put on my tools and armor and things, so I'm thinking of splitting up this level into different rooms down here and having a corridor that goes all the way around the outside into our main room, and then doorways into each of these individual rooms. And that way we can have different rooms designated to different enchantments, which might not be the most efficient way to lay this thing out, but I think it'll be more interesting. And I think I've come up with a system for each one of the rooms now. So we've got hyper experience is going to be produced in here. In this room, we're going to get enchantments for unbreaking and efficiency. In this one, we're going to get looting and fortune. In this one, we're going to get sharpness and smite, feather falling and depth strider, aqua affinity and respiration, soul speed and swift sneak, protection, and probably the other protections as well, like fire protection and blast protection, sweeping edge in this one, and then finally we're going to have power and punch for my bow. And that's pretty much all the ones we need. And if you're wondering why I left out things like mending and whatnot, well, these hyper enchants obviously only work for enchantments that have levels, and mending, well, it's just mending. And now we've got power in every single room. I'm just going to tidy this up again with a little bit more casing. So to create our hyper experience, we're going to need liquid experience, lapis, and glow ink sacks. And that means we need a blaze burner that's superheated. So we're going to need to bring our diesel up here. Actually, I don't need to use diesel. If this is only going to be powered every now and then, i.e. not all of the time, it might actually be worthwhile using some of these blaze cakes, since I've got 100,000 of them now. That seems like a good idea to me. Right, first block I'm going to need is a disenchanter, and for that I need some sandpaper, which I've got. So let's make ourselves one of those, and I guess we could probably throw that in here around about this point there, and what we'll have is these nuggets of experience basically just shoved across onto that, and that can all go into a tank. And then we can put the pump there, we can power that from the side, which we can bring power from there, and then we can put a reasonable sized tank there. I don't think this needs to be too massive. So then we're going to need a blaze burner with a mixing bowl on top of that with a mixer stuck in it, and we're going to need to pump XP into that, and out of that we're going to be pumping our hyper experience, which can go into this tank here. So then I just need to get the glow squid and the lapis in there as well, and the blaze cakes in there. See, I want to be able to see what's in these boxes while they've got a funnel on the front. So we'll actually shift those to the side there, and then we can have the depots for those there, and then we just need the blaze cakes to go in somehow as well. So you're going to take from there, and you're going to put it in there, and you can probably sit up there, I guess. Although, if I offset you a little bit, we can have another one taking from the blaze cakes wherever that's going to be going there, and that's nice and symmetrical. I guess I could actually put them there with that depot in the middle there, then that arm's going to take from there, put in there, and go up there. There we go. Right, now we just need power to everything. So we're going to need a cog there and a cog there, and probably one up there as well. Throw a little bit of chain drive down the side here so that we can power that pump. That's all nicely hidden. And then I just need to bring the power down from up here. So if I just pop one of those in there and one of those in there with a bit of that there we go. Everything's powered. And that is going in there, and it's going in there. Oh, it's going, yeah, oh no. I totally forgot. I need a smart pipe on there. Okay, send that back that way, please. Oh, if I need a smart pipe, I'm gonna have to move that all out one block. That's fine. So that's gonna go on there. And then we'll have our tank there, which is no longer symmetrical. Everything's ruined. It's fine. However, what if we did that instead? Well, the only downside to that is when I put the funnels on, I can no longer see what's in the box. Now, I can look at it with the jade thing at the top and see what's in there, so I guess that's fine, but I kind of like being able to walk in and actually see. The only way I could really do that would be to spin that one round there and that one round there. So you're going to take from there, and you're putting it in there. You're going to take from there, and you're going to put it in there. But we want you off and onable. Right, we need to be able to power this room. We need to be able to turn things off and on again. So I want a redstone link on here. She's going to go to a clutch over there. We'll put a lever next to it so we can power it all off and on. And what I really need now is an actual bottle of hyper experience so I can use it for my filters, and I can use it for my smart filter here. But I can't make that until I can make that. So I guess we need to make some. So let's spin that one round. Let it just run for a second. See if it actually makes it. It is doing. Oh, it's just very slow at making it. Okay, that's fine. But if I take a glass bottle now, can I take some? It lets me click on it, but I think I just put it... No, it's happening. Stop, not letting me do anything. I guess we're just going to have to pump it out and hope for the best. Let's hope the right one comes through. There it is! Hyper experience! And hopefully I can grab that out of there with a spout. Chuck a glass bottle on there and get a crank, and hopefully we can get some of that into that glass bottle. Wow, look. We have bottles of hyper enchanting. There we go. Now I can use that on my little item filter there. Hyper XP. Nice. We've got a hyper experience set up, peeps. Oh, it vanished a minute ago. So can I drink it? Oops. Wow. Wow, what do I get? Glowing. I'm positively glowing, peeps. I didn't mean to do that, but I kind of like it. Right, we don't want that anymore. We don't need that. We just want to store it inside actual here. So I guess we better start producing. Go, make me lots of hyper XP. We're going to do that. I stick in a funnel on there, and now that's just going to all go into this tank, generate us a whole bunch of XP. Oh, this is wonderful. I can't believe I actually did it. We're actually hyper enchanting. Oh, I get night vision as well. It doesn't seem like you get much for your money. In fact, you get, for every 100 millibuckets of experience, you only actually get 10 liquid hyper experience. So this is very expensive, and that's why we need to use it so sparingly, and we can't just have this running constantly. Let's switch that out for a brass funnel instead and just let that go a whole bunch quicker. There we go. All of the XP nuggets have gone, and this system has completely finished. So how many buckets of hyper experience did we get from all of that? Not many. 7 1/4, which really isn't a lot. And that makes me worried about the next stage of this. See, what I'm supposed to do is then put pipes on this and pump them into all of these different rooms so that we can power all of the different enchanters and things. But the problem is, if we've only got 7 buckets and I'm pumping this around this entire floor, pretty much all of that's probably just going to disappear in the pipes and not actually be able to get used. And considering that took 26,000 nuggets of XP, which is about 3 or 4 days worth of AFK at the mob farm, I'm not going to be getting any more anytime soon. So I need to do some tests, and that means I need an enchanting guide, and it means I need a blaze burner. And let's just stick it down in here for now. And with this enchanting guide, I can put in an enchanted book, and that basically sets what that is. And then I believe I can give that to the blaze burner. There we go. And now the blaze has got a new job. But I want to know, can I just click it with these instead of pumping it in? Oh, I guess not. No, I can't. So we are going to have to pump it in. Oh, and that's really concerning. Consumes 220 millibuckets of experience, you see, and it's got 2 buckets worth of capacity for fluid. So if I pump fluid into that, it's already going to take 2 of our buckets worth of our 7. And I was planning on having 2 of these in every one of these 9 rooms, and that's 18 altogether. So that's 36 buckets worth we'd need just to fill them up in the first place. This is going to be a problem. So realistically then, what I really want to do is just have it on and offable what we actually pump into each one. Okay, what about if I had a disenchanter, for instance, with a pump coming off that? Let's just move you a second. Sit that blaze burner on that pipe there, give him back his book, and then what if I just threw one of those... Oh, I've just stood on it and used my own XP. I didn't mean to do that. That's a good point. I can get rid of all of my XP into this system as well and fill up a little bit more in there. And if I turn the system back on, that should all hopefully drain into there. It's not going to give us... Oh, it's hardly give us any at all, but that's fine. So my plan, if I throw that down on there, it won't disenchant that, so I can't even get them back out of the bottles. Oh, and you can't even make a bucket of hyper enchanting, so I can't even like get the liquid out in a different format. So the only way I can do this is to pump it in from in here. Oh my goodness me, I don't think I dare. So I guess I should go into my creative test world and figure out exactly how painful this is going to be. So first things first, let's give ourselves a little tank's worth of XP. And I'm going to fill this tank up with about the same as what we've got in our actual survival world. And there we go, 7 buckets worth. That's about the same as what we've got. And with a pump and some pipes across there, we can add ourselves on a few different blaze burners. And let's just teach them all how to read. They can all have the same book. It doesn't matter for now. And now if I power this system and just turn the speed up a bit, how much is this going to actually burn through? See, they're all filling up with exactly 2 buckets worth, which is not ideal because now we've got none left in there at all, and these things are not even fully full. Now they do store it. It doesn't look like they're actually burning through it, which is good. The amount of experience in each one is not going down, so that's good, I guess. So let's just set up a couple of drains in front of this one, and I guess we'll have one out the back there as well. Throw a sword on, and how quickly does it use that? And there we go. So it didn't use very much at all, really. So at least it's not just burning through it for no particular reason as it sat there. But if I'm going to have 18 of these blaze burners, I am going to need 36 buckets worth of hyper experience. Because I don't really see how we can limit how much each one of these is going to get unless we actually just manually power the pumps ourselves so that we only get a small amount in there, which might be the best way of doing this. Rather than having this all fully powered, we can have it all manual, and that way we can only fill these up with a little bit of experience for the enchantments we need. If that's the case, how are we going to lay this out? Well, I guess first of all, we're going to need pipes worth of hyper experience actually in here. So let's grab some pipe, put it there, and a pump there, facing in that direction, and dig our way through into our first room, with the pipe going under there. And in fact, you know what? I'm not even going to put a pump on at this point. I'm just going to have that pipe connected. And if we dogleg it round under the wall here, we can have it coming along the back of the room here. So bringing the pipe across the back of the room, it can then go into the next room as we need it to, and then I'm going to try and make this as symmetrical as possible, digging a couple of holes in the floor there like that, with a bit of pipe and then a pump and then another pipe, and a bit of pipe and a pump and another pipe, stick a blaze burner there and a blaze burner there, and then if we put a little cog wheel at the back there, and I guess one there, with our little hand cranks on like that. Other thing we've got to do is actually be able to get the items on there, and I think the way we can do that is probably with just a couple of item drains, and then we could literally just throw that across like that, and that'll sit on top of the blaze until it's finished enchanting, but then it's just going to bounce off the back, which I don't really want. So I think I'm going to spend a few minutes playing with this and come back to you once I've got an idea. Okay, a couple of minutes later, and this is basically what I've come up with. So this blaze is going to have this Unbreaking 3 enchanted thing, and this blaze is going to have this Efficiency 5 enchanted thing, and I'm now hoping that if I just pump that a little bit, we should hopefully get a little bit of that hyper experience coming through there we go, into there. And he's only got a little bit in there, which is good. So if I now go back through into here, we've still got just over 7 buckets worth. So yeah, that's going to work. So this should be efficiency 6. I've no idea if I can put that onto an existing tool or not, or if I need a new one. But the idea here is that I just throw that over there. It's going to go on top of there. He's going to look after that for a second. And hopefully when he's finished with it, 355 millibules of experience is going to cost him. And I don't think he's got that much by the looks of things. We'll see. Is it just going to stick there forever? Let's give him a bit more. And that's not actually doing anything at all. Oh, this is such a not a good way of doing things. I can't seem to give him any more. Can I get my tool back? I can. Okay. Now can I give you some more? I really need like a... I could probably do this with like a gearbox. I had a gearbox that I just like pressed a button and it filled it up with a certain amount of experience. That'd be perfect. Perhaps we could do it with a clutch. So our clutch will have to go at that point there. And then I guess we can put a vertical gearbox in there, but we want that inverted. And I'm hoping if I put a couple of those there and one of those there, that's going to invert it and stop that from turning. And then if I get myself a nice shiny button, and it's definitely going to be shiny because I'm going to use one of those, then when I press that, that should spin a bit, and hopefully that'll be enough to give us some XP, but I doubt it. I don't think it's spinning for long enough. There's only one way to find out. How many button times do I have to push it in order to get him some experience? Oh, it needs to be pumped for long enough to actually suck it all the way through, because as soon as it stops pumping, it stops coming through. So we need this to go for a lot longer. And I can do something like that with one of these pulse extenders. If I give that a pulse, that should then last for 10 seconds, and I can change that amount of time to however long I want. That might work, although it'd be a bit of trial and error, because the further we get away from our actual tank of XP, the longer the pulse is going to be needed to actually fill each one up. This is going to be a nightmare. There we go. Okay, that works. So in that case, our wall would be at this point here. Pop our pump back down and our cog wheel. Put our pipe back in and our blaze burner. Give him his book back. And now I've got to see, is that going to be long enough to actually pump anything through here? Oh, here it comes. Probably going to be too long. Yep, he's got over a bucket's worth. Oh dear, he's got 2 buckets worth. Yeah, 10 seconds was way too long, as it turns out. Probably only wanted to be a couple of seconds. So now this one's used up a whole 2 buckets worth, and there's no way I can get that back inside of this system, which now only has... Oh, jeez. This is a nightmare. I need so much more XP. But at least now I should be able to throw on my pickaxe, and it's just gone straight over the back. Now I can't get it out again. It's clear to me that this entire process is going to take a whole bunch longer and a lot more XP than I thought. So I think realistically at this point, what I need to do between episodes is do a whole bunch more AFK at the mob farm to get a whole bunch more XP, get a whole bunch more of the hyper experience in here, and that way when we come back in next time, I'm not going to be panicking quite so much about how to get all of this sorted out, and I might actually have a better system for doing it. As much as I did say we'll definitely be doing hyper enchanting at the beginning of this video, chances are we'll probably not, unless we can give this guy a little bit more. Now he's got enough. Now can I get efficiency 6 on my pickaxe? Here we go, we're hyper enchanting. This is very exciting. And there we go, we did it. I don't know where it went, but it did. Oh, it's stuck down there now. Yeah, we definitely need a better system for this. But there we go, I now have efficiency 6 on my pickaxe. That's amazing. Look how quick I can smash through this floor. It's made such a difference. Try it on my shovel. Okay, efficiency 6 shovel. How much difference does it make? It is better. Definitely better. Oh, jeez. You guys supposed to be at the mob farm, not over here.